Hey YouTube, this is Zach with Achilles Financial, and today we're going to be talking about the CBOE Volatility Index, also known as the VIX, trading under the ticker symbol VIX. This is an index that is designed to calculate and produce a measure of constant 30-day expected volatility in the US stock market. Now, the way that it accomplishes that, it is taking the mid-quote prices from S&P 500 call and put options. So when there's a lot of options volume, like we saw in the October-November timeframe, you'll see these spikes upwards, like we saw at the beginning of this year when we saw some depression in tech. And then when we see some of that volatility drop, like we're seeing right now, as stocks have continued a steady climb and there hasn't been a lot of broad movement across the market, you see it hit a new 52-week low today of that 1181. Despite the fact that earlier this year we saw it go as high as late last year we saw it go as high as $30. So this is a fund that has the capability to move, and it can move very quickly. You can see how in September it went from $13 up north of $20 a share. So it does have the capability to move. And one of the things that I want to watch associated with this is coming into the end of the year, could we see increased volatility? If we come up above, and I'm using Charles Schwab here, we go to the calendar, we look at some of the economic moves. There are a few things I want to note. The first is not listed here, but is happening tomorrow, or I guess it is listed here, is that FOMC rate decision. So this is going to be coming out tomorrow. Jerome Powell, the head of the Federal Reserve, is going to be speaking, walking through what they are expecting. You can see that right now they're expected to keep rates at the same amount. There is a small chance that they are going to be increasing it to that 5.5% mark. That'd be another 25 bips higher. However, I am not expecting that at this point in time, but we will see. I think it would be a market surprise if that were to be the case. So, therefore what? This is a potential thing that could move the market. In addition to that, we're going to have the PPI figures, retail sales later this week, continuing claims, some of the initial claims, so some of those jobs numbers, and then down below there's going to be a few things that aren't as important this Friday. However, what I would note is we have two potential big movers this week, and in addition to that, at the end of this week, it is going to be what is known as a witching event, which means we are going to see a lot of options contracts are going to be due at the end of this week. So that'll be that December 15th time frame. So those witching events are essentially when you have these long dated options. Those could be annual options contracts, quarterly, monthly. It all happens on that day, so there can be a lot of volatility. So therefore what? One of the things that I want to highlight here is I think that this may be an interesting play, recognizing that there is the capability to lose a lot of money trading something like the VIX. I do think there's an interesting opportunity where, because there is such subdued volatility right now, we're at 52-week lows, there is going to be a decay element associated with the VIX, meaning that over time it will always be going down. And it's interesting to see that there may be an opportunity here. So this is what I'm going to be watching going into this week and into next week, basically to close out the end of the year, as it won't take a lot before I would pull. This is definitely a trade I'm evaluating. It is by no means something that I would be looking to hold for a long-term period of time. It is, can we get in around the $12 to $13 mark? Can we get out north of the $14 mark? And I think that historically there's been quite the opportunity. And with some of the events coming up in the near future, I think there's the opportunity to have a trade here. But I am by no means a market professional. I'm simply some guy on YouTube giving his opinion, and this is for educational purposes only. So let me know if you traded the VIX below in the comment section. If you have any thoughts or feedback, let me know. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later.